Good morning, students. Today I will explain the chapter number 2, The Rise of the English East India Company. In search of sea routes toward the east, several people from the western countries like the British, French, Dutch, and Portuguese started sea voyages. They naturally became rivals of each other in this struggle for power. The Britain emerged victorious and transformed itself from a trading company. The English East India Company was formed in 1600 with a charter from Queen Elizabeth I, granting the sole right to carry trade in the East. This meant that no other trading group in England could compete with the East India Company. The English established their settlements and factories at Masulipatam, Patna, Dhaka, Fort St. George, Bombay, Calicut, and Govindpur. In 1691, the English were granted a firman by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, which exempted the British Company from paying custom duties in Bengal. In 1717, another Mughal Emperor Farrukh Shah granted another firman. The Europeans. Many Europeans came to India for trading. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the French. Indian spices, silk, textile, indigo, and saltpeter were very much in demand in Europe. During the medieval period, Arab traders controlled this trade through the sea route, but when conflict and war started between the Turks and the Europeans, this trade was disrupted. In order to get the Indian goods which were much in demand in Europe, the Western trader decided to find new sea route to India. The first European trader to discover a new sea route to India were the Portuguese. The Portuguese. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese sailor, first discovered a sea route to India via the Cape of Good Hope in 1498 and arrived at Calicut, Kerala. So, the Portuguese were the first to establish political power in India along the west coast. They conquered Goa and made it the center of their commercial and political power in India, which they controlled for nearly 4.5 centuries. The Dutch. The Dutch were the next to reach India in 1595 and the Dutch East India Company was formed after a few years. The Dutch started controlling the spice trade in Indonesia. Later their chief trading center shifted to Nagapatnam. The Dutch also started establishing trading factories in Masulipatam, Calicut and Surat. The French. First Dutch East India Company was established in 1602 AD. The French too tried to enter the competition for trade in India. They set up their factories in Pondicherry, Madras and Chandranagore in Bengal. The French had to confront and compete with the British. This resulted in the Carnatic Wars in which the French were finally defeated. All these European trading companies competed with each other to buy fine cotton and silk produced in India. Spices like pepper, cloves, cinnamon, and cardamom were also